The show opens with a young angel named Monica walking barefoot toward a bus stop in a desolate area. As she walks, she unties her hair, and her ribbon transforms into a bird that flies away. At the bus stop, Monica meets a woman named Tess, who is holding a white umbrella and singing a song. Monica joins Tess, moving to the rhythm of her tune. Tess informs Monica that she has been moved from the search and rescue division to a caseworker position, which makes Monica very happy. Tess warns Monica not to eat everything she sees, as this will be the first time she is taking human form for an extended period. Tess then hands Monica a ticket, and instructs her to take the bus and keep an eye on a young boy named David. Before Monica boards the bus, Tess reminds her to get some shoes. Monica looks down and realizes she is already wearing them. When she looks back, Tess is gone, leaving the umbrella to roll down the street. Monica then boards the bus and begins her new assignment. After traveling for a while, the bus stops at a rest area for a 15-minute break. Passengers along with Monica get off the bus. Monica stands next to an old man at the cafe counter, where the man puts his money down and orders food. Monica takes a seat next to him, and he introduces himself as Jerry, who works in medical supplies. While they are talking, a little boy walks by and takes Jerry's money from the counter, along with some money from other tables and the counter space. Noticing this, Monica excuses herself and approaches the boy, who insists the money is his. At the same time, Jerry argues with the waitress about the money being left on the counter. The boy eventually returns the money, and everyone gets back on the bus. Back on the bus, Monica sits next to the little boy and they introduce themselves. The boy's name is David. When Monica asks about his parents, David tells her that his mother and his baby sister died in a car accident. His father, a detective, was assigned to the same case when discovered it was his own family. At night, Monica and David reach their destination and say goodbye. David walks alone through a dark area. A group of bullies approach him and try to steal his backpack, but cannot manage to lift it. They decide to use a knife to cut the bag open. Just then, Monica comes to David's aid. She takes the knife from one of the bullies and throws it into the air, where it vanishes. Terrified, the bullies run away. Monica decides to make sure David gets home safely, so she accompanies him to his house. When they arrive, David mentions that they had advertised for a nanny, but had not received any responses. Monica notices a picture of David with his baby sister, and a drawing on the wall. David explains that his dad has put away all of his mother's real photos. He also tells Monica that his mother used to wear a star-shaped necklace, but David does not understand it, and thinks it's just a girly thing. At that moment, David's dad, Nick Morrow, comes home. Monica introduces herself and explains that she is there for the nanny position. After discussing the job details and salary, Monica agrees to the terms and gets hired. The next morning, while Monica is busy with her duties as a nanny, she hears a siren and goes outside to investigate. There, she encounters her another angel friend, Adam, who is at the scene to help guide a neighbor to their afterlife. Monica asks Adam if he knows anything about the Morrow family, or the deaths of David's mother and his baby sister. Adam reveals that only the 8-month-old baby girl was taken from her crib, suggesting that the mother is still alive. Realizing the situation, Monica finds David at the bus station and asks him for more details about what really happened to his mother. David explains that his mother fled to the desert after the death of his baby sister, Katie. Monica asks David to go home and assures him that she will find his mother. She then heads to the police station to ask Nick for some time off due to an emergency. While there, Monica overhears Nick talking about going to the Dead Dog Saloon to interview a witness. She seizes the opportunity to ask him about David's mother. He tells her that she is at a place called Hewitt, and refuses to return home because she feels guilty about Katie's death. Concerned about David, Nick is initially reluctant to grant Monica leave. However, when Monica mentions Tess as her substitute, he agrees to her request. Monica travels to Hewitt by bus, where she meets up with Tess again. Tess chastises Monica for not following the directives of the universe's creator. They argue, with Monica insisting she is following her instincts and trying to find David's mother. Monica then asks Tess to take over her duties and care for David. While they are talking, two women, Ruth and Christine, at a nearby motel, watch Monica conversing with someone who is not visible to them. When Monica approaches the motel, the women think she might be running away from a man because she has no bag and is acting strangely. They offer her a cup of coffee, which Monica only smells. She explains that she was not allowed to stop and drink coffee before, so this is a special treat for her. Monica also asks for a room, saying she does not have much money. The women offer to help by letting Monica work off the bill, to which Monica replies that she is skilled at fixing things. Monica then notices a star-shaped necklace around Ruth's neck and feels a surge of happiness and relief. She thinks that Ruth is David's mother. Back at Nick's place, Tess is covering for Monica. She and David are having a brief conversation when Nick interrupts to inform Tess that he has an interview at the Dead Dog Saloon and will be home late. Later, while Monica and Christine are doing chores, Monica notices a car behind her and asks about it. Christine explains that it belonged to someone who could not pay their motel bill and has left it behind. Now it does not even work. The three women decide to have some fun by playing pool. During their game, Monica mentions wanting to go dancing at a club. Christine suggests that Ruth should take Monica to the Dead Dog Saloon, where Monica plans Nick and Ruth's meetup. Ruth agrees to take Monica but needs to borrow Mac's truck. Mac refuses because he is planning to visit his mother that evening. Monica then excuses herself, repairs the car she saw earlier, and returns with it. With no other excuses, Ruth agrees to take Monica to the Dead Dog Saloon. When they arrive, Monica starts looking for Nick. She insists that Ruth approach someone at the bar. While Ruth is talking to a man, Nick spots him and goes to arrest him. Seeing Nick, Ruth throws a glass of beer in his face and runs away, leaving Monica behind in the bar. Ruth then returns to the motel, where Christine joins her and asks about Monica. While Ruth is gathering her things, she confides in Christine that she has been indirectly involved in a crime. She explains that she has been evading the police because of an accident from long ago that resulted in someone's death. Ruth admits that she had helped the person responsible for the accident escape from the scene. Ruth then gathers her belongings and leaves the motel. While she is on the road, trying to hitch a ride, Monica shows up and urges her to stop running. However, Ruth refuses to listen and drives away in a truck. Just then, Tess arrives and scolds Monica for her actions, reminding her to focus on her assigned tasks. Disappointed, Monica asks Tess to give her a moment to say goodbye to Christine. Inside, she realizes that Christine is David's mother when she notices the star-shaped locket around Christine's neck. Christine explains that Ruth had borrowed the locket because she liked it and returned it before leaving. Monica urges Christine to go back home, but Christine refuses, feeling guilty for not being able to save Katie. As Christine starts to drive away, Monica appears in the middle of the road and reveals that she is an angel. She assures Christine that Katie is still being cared for by another angel. Christine, crying, questions where the angels were when Katie died in her crib. Christine asks for some time to process things and drives off. Monica then prays, letting David's drawing flutter away, hoping to set things right. Monica then returns to David and delivers the disappointing news. David is heartbroken by what he hears, and both Tess and Nick reprimand Monica for mishandling the assignment. While Nick is outside trying to comfort his son, Christine arrives in the car. Monica's earlier revelation inspired Christine to come back home, leading to a family reunion. Grateful for Monica's help, Christine offers the car to the angels. Tess happily accepts it, and Monica and Tess drive away in the car. Next, Tess and Monica are practicing baseball, and Tess informs Monica that she will be working as an assistant coach to Earl Rowley, substituting for the history teacher. Earl is known for his temper and is very tough on his players. Tess warns Monica that the job will be challenging, and that she will need to be a strong angel for Earl. As they talk, a baseball player hits the ball high into the sky, and Monica catches it. The players rush to her to retrieve the ball and check if she is okay. Monica then criticizes Earl's harsh coaching methods and decides to show the players a different approach by leading them in a new coaching style. As Monica takes the players to the field, Tess approaches Laura, the mother of one of the baseball players, Peter Enloe, who is the star player on the team. Tess asks Laura where she can find a T-bone steak. Laura mentions that she owns a sports bar on the highway and invites Tess to visit. On the field, Monica coaches one of the players while criticizing Earl's coaching methods. She also introduces herself as the new assistant coach, taking over for the history teacher. Earl is not happy about having a female assistant coach, but his boss informs him that Monica was chosen because she is the only substitute with strong credentials in both history and baseball. Later, Earl calls Peter into his office and announces that he is appointing him as the team captain. He also informs Peter that a scout will be attending the game to evaluate players for a baseball scholarship. Earl advises Peter to play as if his future depends on it. Peter agrees to the challenge and leaves the room. Meanwhile, Tess takes a job as a bartender at Laura's sports bar, accepting a lower wage without concern. During their conversation, it comes to light that Peter has lost his father. Laura, a single mother, worries whether she is guiding her son correctly. She fears she may be too easy but feels reassured knowing that Earl is providing him with the discipline he needs. Later that evening, Monica joins Tess at the bar. While they are talking, Earl makes an announcement about Peter becoming the team captain and asks everyone to raise their drinks in celebration. Monica notices that there are no drinks around and ends up raising a bottle of hot sauce instead. When Earl asks about her drink, Monica explains that it's the best she could manage on short notice, which leaves Earl deep in thought. After the announcement, Earl insists that everyone takes a sip of their drink. Monica, encouraged by the crowd, drinks from the bottle of hot sauce. Afterward, as she exits the bar, she takes a moment to congratulate Peter on his accomplishment. The next morning, as Monica joins the baseball team on the field, she hears Earl yelling at a player for missing a catch. When Monica arrives, she asks to borrow Earl's bat, but he refuses to let her use it. One of the players mentions that Earl does not share his bat because it was a gift from his father. He hit his first home run and won the state championship with that bat. Earl then calls Peter over to discipline the player who missed a catch. After punishing, Peter confides in Monica that sometimes he hates Earl so much that he feels like he could even kill him. That evening, Monica expresses her frustration to Tess, feeling conflicted about her role since she cannot change Earl's behavior. Just then, Earl arrives at the bar where Monica questions him about his harsh coaching methods. Earl explains that he is trying to prepare the kids for the harsh realities of life, drawing from his own experiences in the Vietnam War. He believes that the kids need to be tough to avoid getting hurt or insulted. Monica realizes that Earl's tough approach is influenced by his past military experience. Earl then calls Peter over and instructs him to make his teammate run an extra lap the next morning. He warns Peter that if his teammate does not improve, he will be removed from the team. The next morning, Monica is teaching her history class where she encourages her students to stand up against bullies. Later that day, as Earl is getting his players ready for the game, he discovers that Peter did not make his teammate run the extra lap as instructed. This causes Peter to confront Earl, leading to a physical altercation and Peter's suspension from the team. While walking away, Earl suddenly collapses on the field and is quickly taken to the hospital. At the hospital, Monica learns from Adam that Earl is dying from pancreatic cancer. She then visits Earl, who reveals to her that he was shot by a Vietnamese soldier during a moment when he let his guard down. He recalls that Monica was the one who saved him during the battle, and realizes that she is an angel. He reflects on her words, "It's the best I could do on short notice," which made him think deeply. Monica gently reprimands him for not using his life to make a positive impact. She expresses disappointment that he did not fully seize the opportunities. He had to make a difference in his students' lives. Afterward, Monica approaches Tess to share her concerns about Earl. Tess responds by reassuring her that the Lord works in mysterious ways, indicating that Monica should trust the process and let things unfold naturally. Later that evening, Monica approaches Peter to convince him to return to the team. However, Laura informs her that Peter needs Earl's approval since Earl is the closest father figure in his life. Laura then visits Earl at the hospital to discuss this, followed by Monica. After their conversation, Adam arrives to guide Earl to the afterlife. Monica asks Adam for a second chance for Earl, and Adam agrees. During their big game, the team is trailing by 3 runs with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Peter is close to striking out when Earl appears and gives him his wooden bat his father had given him. With this bat, Peter hits a home run, winning the game and securing the scholarship. Afterward, Adam arrives to take Earl. Earl then asks Monica to hold his hand as they walk into the light together. In the next scene, Tess briefs Monica about her new assignment, introducing her to Elizabeth Jessup, a prominent journalist struggling with a drinking problem. Tess explains that Elizabeth's alcohol use has caused significant issues in her life. As Monica observes Elizabeth arriving at a restaurant, she accidentally damages the birthday cake intended for her granddaughter, Beth. Elizabeth's daughter, Sydney, appears visibly exhausted from constantly managing Elizabeth's behavior. The next day, Monica begins her assignment by introducing herself to Elizabeth as her new assistant. Upon entering Elizabeth's home, Monica receives a phone call from Sydney, despite Elizabeth's refusal to answer. It turns out Elizabeth had forgotten she had invited Sydney and Beth for dinner. Monica decides to call them and invites them over at 8 p.m. She then sets up the house for the celebration, which impresses Elizabeth. While they discuss some writing Monica had done earlier, Sydney and Beth arrive at the door. During dinner, Beth places a music box on the table while Elizabeth begins recounting stories about her past lovers. Sydney is clearly uncomfortable and asks Elizabeth to stop sharing her personal stories, but Elizabeth ignores her request. Sydney then insists on having the birthday cake and ending the celebration, only for Elizabeth to realize that she did not prepare one. In response, Monica steps in and uses her abilities to magically create a cake. While Monica is in the kitchen, Elizabeth angrily grabs the music box from Beth, causing Sydney to take Beth and leave the house. The next day, Sydney and Beth visit Elizabeth to retrieve Sydney's birth certificate, as she has been promoted at work and needs it for a new security system being implemented. While searching for the certificate, Sydney finds an invitation to the mayor's centennial kickoff event, which Elizabeth had no intention of attending. With the help of Sydney and Monica, Elizabeth decides to go to the event. However, during her speech at the kickoff, Elizabeth causes a commotion, leading Sydney to pull her off the stage. Afterwards, Sydney breaks down in front of Monica, admitting that she feels overwhelmed and unable to manage things on her own. Hearing this, Monica offers her support and assistance to help make things right between Sydney and her mother. The next day, Sydney brings Anita, a counselor from the New Hope Center, to visit Elizabeth. Sydney is concerned about Elizabeth's drinking habits and hopes that Anita can help address the issue. Anita explains to Elizabeth how her drinking has strained her relationships with her daughter and granddaughter. She emphasizes that Elizabeth's family is eager to help her enter rehab before it's too late. However, this approach backfires. Elizabeth becomes furious and demands that everyone leave her house, refusing to listen to any further discussions about her drinking. After a while, Monica enters Elizabeth's home and finds her asleep after having a bottle of alcohol. Monica heads to the kitchen, where she encounters Tess. As Monica shares her recent experiences, Tess advises her to show Elizabeth love and support. While they talk, Elizabeth comes into the kitchen and sees Monica speaking to herself, not realizing that Tess is invisible to her. Monica then attempts to help Elizabeth understand the impact her drinking has on herself and her family. She explains how difficult it is for Sydney to witness her condition, and how much Sydney wants to help her. Elizabeth reveals that she started drinking to blend in with her male colleagues and now feels she has become adept at it. However, she acknowledges that while her drinking has become excessive, she believes it does not cause any harm. Later, Elizabeth goes to visit Sydney and Beth, but Sydney refuses to let her in, insisting that Elizabeth must seek professional help before they can have any contact with her. Elizabeth reacts angrily and leaves. Back at her own home, as Elizabeth shows Monica around and reflects on her past, she asks if Monica thinks Sydney's approach is right. Monica agrees, which prompts Elizabeth to decide to visit the center Sydney recommended. When Elizabeth arrives at the center, she loses her temper upon seeing Anita. She threatens Anita with a lawsuit for harassment and assault if she ever comes near her again. Elizabeth then demands that Monica accompany her as she is leaving, but Monica chooses to stay behind, leading Elizabeth to fire her. Shortly after, Beth sneaks out of school to visit Elizabeth. Elizabeth is delighted to see her granddaughter and lets her have her favorite music box. She then leaves Beth in a room to watch the news while she falls asleep on the couch, carelessly holding a lit cigarette. The cigarette eventually ignites a fire in the house. Elizabeth, in a state of unconsciousness, rescues herself but forgets about her granddaughter's presence in the house. Monica arrives just in time to rescue Beth from the fire. Elizabeth is unaware of Beth's harm until Sydney confronts her at the hospital, accusing her of almost causing Beth's death by leaving her alone in the burning house. Following this, Elizabeth visits her burned house and encounters Monica. Monica reveals that she is an angel, and Elizabeth realizes that Monica was the one who saved Beth. This revelation hits Elizabeth hard, making her understand the harm she has caused her family. Driven by remorse, Elizabeth first goes to the hospital to see Beth, bringing her favorite music box in hopes of comforting her and helping her recover from the coma. Determined to make amends, Elizabeth decides to join the center recommended by Sydney. There, she learns that Sydney was an alcoholic a year ago, but has since overcome her addiction. As Sydney steps forward to share her feelings and the emotional impact of Elizabeth's actions, Elizabeth listens intently. Sydney describes the deep hurt she feels due to her mother's lack of inclusion and the emotional distance her drinking had created between them. Overwhelmed by Sydney's heartfelt words, Elizabeth stands up and, with a tearful apology, acknowledges the pain she has caused. Elizabeth then attempts to comfort Sydney, expressing her deep gratitude and love, saying how fortunate she feels to have Sydney as her daughter. As Elizabeth and Sydney reconcile at the center, Tess waits outside for Monica. When Monica meets Tess, she expresses her happiness about Elizabeth and Sydney's reconciliation. Together, Tess and Monica then drive away in the car, satisfied with the success of their mission. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave 1,000 likes or 100 comments if you'd like us to continue part 2. Thank you.